Dun, 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 dun. Hey, my name is Crunk Chocolates. Welcome to End of Season Report, part of Shades of Blue podcast content season, streaming live on FanFest. Shout out to all the Patreon people also who are giving this a watch. Appreciate y'all. This is the off season, which means we can all relax a little bit on the tribalism. So here I am asking some of my favorite people about clubs in the Premier League or Women's Super League. Today is for the ladies. But also, unfortunately, it's the other side of Manchester. But what I will say is just a couple hours ago, I was chatting with the homie Simo, who is a Manchester United supporter. So this has ended up just being an afternoon, evening of Manchester United. Who would have thought? I mean, it's kind of perfect, though. Just get it all happening at once, get my overwhelmed annoyances out, and then can go back to just the rest of the football world. But to talk the club with me, one of our favorite guests, especially when it comes time talking about Manchester United women. Uh, Technically, I don't think I'm going to ask them to any more watch alongs since I don't think we've had any good luck when that happened. So, Shady Gang, give it up for Holloway.
Hello. Thank you. What a nice welcome. And
Uh,
obviously I know I'm one of your favorite people, but hearing you say it, wow. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Affirmations. Yes,
Yes.
let's go. We're here for it.
Yeah. And I feel like we should just get it out of the way, but like I'm always down for another watch along. Like it worked out great last time.
It's not going to happen next season. Our players are going to be healthy. We won't have a miserable manager. I'm actually very excited to see what this new manager, what he's going to come in and do.
Yes.
Uh,
I know a little bit about your new manager, you know?
oh, yeah. A lot
Just
of people are kind of giving us big crap about it because
yes.
all the success he had was like 2 decades ago, and
Yes.
basically what he's been doing now. What does Tom Mom call it? Pernell harder and pray. That's
Yes.
basically his tactics when it comes to the national team.
Yes, but I do. If we should just get that sort of like out of the way, because he's been our national team coach for a little bit now, and I truly believe that he will do better in a club setting than a national team setting.
Ooh, go on.
Right. So, and yes, we have this ongoing joke that it's like it's Pernille Harder and just you know get the ball to her and then we'll see what happens. That's the running joke, right? But in all fairness, we have good players. We don't have a lot of we don't have a team consisting of like world class players, right?
Mm.
So there is sort of a different dynamic that has to happen. And obviously, you want to build it around your best players and everything, but you also have to be able to adapt. Because I've seen this countless of times, right? Then the um, opposing team or they'll just lock her down, right? Because they know everything has to go through her, and they lock her down, and then we don't perform, right? But if you have multiple players who can adjust and switch and play, I don't want to say play out of position, but like at least adapt more to whatever's happening in the game. And then if you have world class players around you who can do that as well, I think that's gonna work out much better. And just from Andre Jeglet's style of play, it works better if he has more top class players to work with. That I think that's the honest answer on that. So I've been happy with him as a national team coach, but there's also a little bit of uh, we came from a coach where you could predict whatever, like exactly what he was going to do, and that made it very difficult to like surprise. bigger teams, because they knew what we're gonna do. Um, a little bit like Manchester United, but um, so when Yiglets came in, it was this new ideas, new tactics, new vision, mindset, and everything. And so it went okay in my opinion, like the first part of it, and then it went downhill because then we sort of got complacent, and then he didn't have a lot of work to work with.
Mm.
So in my opinion, and I'm not saying this as like a Manchester United fan, I'm saying it just like as a general football and women's football fan. I do think, and I do hope for him that he will do well at City. Not too well, but like you know, but I,
Understand.
but I truly believe that the style of play that he wants to bring is going to work better in a club setting than a national team setting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Good. Let's go. Hold on. And then how are you saying his name again? Jiglitz?
I'm saying Andre Yeglitz.
Yiglitz?
Yeglitz.
Yiglitz.
Uh, it's
Ah, sure.
no, but the thing is that he's Swedish,
Yes.
so I'm also butchering his name because it was probably
Okay.
much more sing-songy, and Danish is very flat, right? So
Mm,
it'd probably be along the lines of like Andre Yeglitz, something in that sort of vicinity.
yeah. Interesting
Yeah,
sing-songy. Man, I love it. Okay. Look at
yeah,
this. And this is why we love having you on. Whenever we can have non-Americans on who can teach us things because our education system is just horrendous. Like just it helps us become just, worldly.
yeah.
I feel so fancy
Oof.
now. Oh, but the
Uh,
way that this
uh,
will work for the watchers, there are 5 categories: kits, manager, squad, supporters, and front office. We'll grade each category A through F. Feel free to use pluses or minus. And for kits, we will do the home, away, and third. We'll
yes.
start with the home, which, it's a red kit. It's whatever. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on it, and what grade would you give it?
I um I would give it a. So I had to look up the American grading system just to make sure that I wasn't like overshooting or undershooting, the performances. But I think I got it. I got like a very nice note saying, both the grade, but then what it sort of means. And according to the one that I found, I would give the home kit a C,
So just bang average.
average,
Yes. Okay.
because it's red, right? It,
Yes.
it's red, and there's not much happening. Like
No.
it's red, white stripes. You have the Adidas logo. You have the United crest. You have a sponsor. That's it, right? It's just red. Maybe a little bit flare on the sides, but that's the template kit for Adidas. So I would give it a C. It was not one that I would rush out to drop money on.
I mean, not that we haven't already had a couple of tangents, but what is how is the grading scale where you're at? Like, what is it? Is it just like pluses or minuses?
No, no. We changed it like I don't know. I want to say 10 years ago, but basically you have -3, and then you're definitely like you haven't passed at all. You're not even close to passing, and then you have 0, 0, which is also not good. It's like, and then a 2, which means you just passed, or maybe it's 4, but it's like you just passed, and you should be very thankful for getting that grade. And then you have 7, which is I would say 7 is like it's average, but it's not bad. Like it's still better than just like you just got by, but and then you have 10, which is like great, and then you have 12, which is just like wow, you just threw.
So as low as -3 and as high as 12.
Yeah, but from the old system, then they combined because then in the old scale, the highest number was 13. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't make
Oh
any
man,
sense. It doesn't make
I
any sense.
I don't
I
think
remember,
anybody, like, when any country talks to another country about their grading system, it confuses everybody, and then we're just like, no, it makes sense. It makes
yeah,
sense. Just like,
no,
it
and
does.
and my parents they grew up with the old grading system, and so when they switched to the new one, I had to sort of like justify getting a certain grade because on the old scale or in the old grading system that was a bad grade, but in the new one it was like it was a good grade. So it's like no 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 no, it's like this is fine.
My
It's like
child's an idiot. They're
yeah
so they're just like, no, it's not. It's good. It's good. I
yeah.
promise.
It's like so for example seven on the new grading system. That's good. That's good. It's it's like you've done your work. It's been approved. It's good. Room for improvement, of course, but it's good. On the old scale, that was bad, and so I had to like justify getting sevens, and it was like, it's fine, it's fine. I'm like, I can still go to university. It's not. It hasn't like it hasn't
I'm not
tanked.
about to fail out. Everything is
Oh,
good.
yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting. Oh man, this is great. This is great. Okay, so
yeah. So
C for the home. What are your thoughts on the away?
okay. So now we're going from C, and then we're going directly to an A. Because
Oh, big
yes,
fan.
yes, I know, but I'm a big fan of that blue kid, like specifically that blue kid, but just like the color of the blue, like
Oh,
the
so you like the color blue, huh?
no, I like deep color blue. I do not like whatever sky blue, powder blue, or whatever is happening
Mm, sounds
there.
like
I like
semantics.
well, I mean, it's a lot of big talk for somebody whose team also had like a maroon uh kits this season. So I'm just
Huh?
saying,
It's like purple. It's like purple.
no,
Yeah, it's like magenta.
no,
I
my
mean,
guy,
yeah, it's like
that is like
purple.
that's maroon. Maybe a hint.
Uh, uh,
No,
okay. Let's
no,
agree to disagree. Let's agree to
no,
disagree.
because when they dropped that kit, I remember distinctly thinking, why have they sort of switched colors? Like, why have they decided to go with the blue and then like the maroon? But obviously, history, yada yada yada, all that kind of stuff. But I was like, it's very funny that they're doing it in the same season.
Let's agree. Let's agree. We're
Oh,
talking about United right now.
okay, okay. No, but
Oh,
I like the but I what I also like about this specific kit is that you have the details underneath it, right?
yeah,
So we had was that already last? No, it wasn't last season. But we had the red jersey, but like with the Manchester Roses, and
yeah.
that was a very nice one, right? So there you have the classic red one, but then you have a little bit to like spice it up, and that's
Mhm,
what I feel the blue one. That's you know, it's a nice color. You have the
mhm.
white, sleek Adidas stripes and everything, and then you have that little detail that just makes it a little more fun. Yeah,
Yes, I'm with you. I'm
yeah.
with you.
So
And then what about the third shirt, the white and the like tricolor, and it has the old
A
devil on
plus,
it.
A
Oh,
plus. Yeah, no, no, no. So
oh.
yep, A plus for this one. I love a good minimalistic crest.
Mm.
That is the and yeah. So that is for me. That's the winner on this jersey, and then sort of like uh, the different Adidas logo. Like it's not just the stripes; it's like it's the proper sort of like old school logo. Yeah. So no, A plus, A plus. It's simple. It's still still Manchester United. Has the minimalistic devil as the crest.
I mean, and
Easy plus.
obviously it's Manchester United, so like I want to start with that. But that crest, that like minimalist crest, I actually looks cool. I mean,
Yeah,
it feels like old school, but also obviously it's modern at the same time.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it at all.
yeah.
Uh, okay, well, manager is the next category, and the thing
I
that
feel
frustrates.
like
What
I
were you
feel
about to
like I
say?
say this every single time you want to ask me about the manager, and every single time I want to skip it. This is not. I'm not having fun at this part of the interview. This is not fun for
Good.
me.
I mean, he is who he is. Luckily, he's not Jonah. Uh, but it's like the team's doing decent. So I guess you can feel how like I guess does this are you as are you optimistic going into the next season because of how well he had the team playing, or do you think it was more so the players stepping up? Because that's how I always felt about Garrett Taylor. Like, is he a good X's and O's person? Yeah, but he doesn't really adjust. He
Hmm.
does not trust players that aren't hitting his starting 11, things like that. But it always felt like, I mean, you just have if you have Bunny Shaw on the pitch, of course you're going to look good because it's Bunny Shaw.
Yes.
How much of the game was of our success was due to Garrett Taylor, and how much of it was just the fact that we have like Alex Greenwood and Yui Hasagawa and Lauren Hemp and things like that. Yeah, of course you're going to be successful with them. And yeah, I don't know. So what is I mean, I kind of know what your thoughts are, but let's talk them out. What are your thoughts on Mark Skinner and his
Yeah.
job that he did this season, and what grade would you give him?
So I am just gonna start off with the grade. I've given him a D, which is
A
below
D.
average. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but I think obviously super biased, right? Obviously super biased, but I also think it's because I have watched the same style of play or like the same sort of like tactics for like 4 seasons, and for like 4 seasons, I personally I don't feel like I've seen any sort of like adjustments or like major changes where I'm like, oh yes, this is now we're doing something completely new. I feel like more that we could see that when certain coaches left United, then you could see, ah, that's you know that was their section, or that like their
Oh
focus
yeah, that's fair.
area.
Yeah.
Like so, for example, it still pains me that that Martin left, right? And then he went to Brann, played in the Champions League, and was just like doing amazing. And it was like you took everything with you. Like why? Please come back. So it's sort of like it's more. I see the people leaving, and I see like what amount of work that they did for the club that I don't feel like we have gotten back, and I don't
Mm.
feel like uh, Skinner is like doing enough to sort of like get back to how we did play at some point, you know, because obviously we have our ups and downs. 9 out of 10 times we're still gonna lose to Chelsea. That's just how it is.
I mean, that's
Uh,
most people, honestly,
that is most
unfortunately.
people. So it's not like I'm going into a season expecting to just dominate over Chelsea. I'm not even gonna say dominate over City every single time. Um, Now also Arsenal, which pains me greatly that all of a sudden they have assembled like this super team.
I know.
Um, but like if we're playing Brighton, I think, and we're just barely getting by. And I'm just like, or like West Ham, and you're just like, what, what? Like this should not. So I could deal with a draw if we at least looked good, but I'm not doing well with draws if it's just like we're getting the last goal in that game, and it's just like in the 87th minute, and then somebody scores, and you're just, oh, thank God we didn't lose. You know, that's 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 not fun. No, so I would give him a D. I don't care for his tactics. I don't care for whatever vision he has for the team, because I don't see it. I don't see the vision, and I don't care for his like both pre and post game comments of like I
Mm.
feel like it's always excuses. It's always excuses, and it's always like, oh, we're still learning, and when we get international players, oh, they have to adapt and everything, and then you see every single other team get international players in, and then sure, there's a transition period, makes sense and everything, but you could get them into your system and they can play and they play well, and then you're thinking, okay, so what are we doing that is not working? Like
Mm.
like um and just lack of rotation. Um, Also a big one for me is that you know when JC Jace
Yeah, yeah,
left,
yeah.
there was like this obviously this whole thing of creating a bad environment, and obviously you can say, okay, if it's just one player, bad experience, whatever, you shouldn't take it for granted and everything. But there's a list. Like there's a list of players who has gone out publicly and said their environment or the relationship with the coach wasn't great. You know,
Mm.
and I feel like those things you have to look at them in a very serious way and say, okay, well, maybe we should look into this. Maybe this is not what we want to build Manchester United on. We want to get international players. We want to get, top talents from different countries and everything. But how are you going to expect them to want to sign for United if you're hearing, from everybody else that it's not great for internationals or for a majority of internationals? Yeah, sorry, that went a little
Oh no, I'm
off.
here for it. No, I'm here for
um,
it. It's because that was rumored why they got rid of Gareth was it felt that he had like lost the locker room, and there was even a rumor that him and Bunny got into it, like at a like a little verbal altercation and things like that, and even the racist abuse that Bunny had that had her basically sit out the rest of the season. Every all of us on the pod were basically just trying to explain all the ways that the club has gone at it the wrong way.
hmm,
And I had people that I very much enjoy and respect their opinion on the club, but they were like questioning us and being like, what more can they do? And I was like, it's kind of hard to explain. And even more to you as an English person, I mean this in the nicest way, you guys have no self awareness when it comes to racism
hmm,
and what to do and how to go at it, and just not talking about it and hoping that it goes away. That helps you guys out, not the person who experienced the racism. And there were even like certain, like Gareth even said like, yeah, Bunny and I had to sit down and she had to like help me understand it. And like the way that she phrased it, like I'm paraphrasing about how he said, but
yeah.
it was basically I I learned some things. That he
Mm,
did say that though. I learned some things from how Bunny described it, and that's not great when your leaders being like, "Hey, I learned." Like I legit think that she experienced it, and Gareth was just like, "What's the problem?"
yeah.
People hear stuff from fans all the time, and it's like when she went to wherever it was and got the lighter thrown at her, and
Oh,
nothing
that
came
was
from that.
Stockholm. Stockholm.
Yeah. So like she had that experience, and then she got the racismo late, like a month and a half later. Like it just was a heavy year for her,
Yeah.
and I was terrified that we were gonna lose her. Like I
Mm,
legit thought that they had fumbled the situation, because even when Nick Cushing came in and they were like, "Hey, what's going on with Bunny?" and he just kept saying, "She is not in my plans. She's not in my plans." And it was like that doesn't sound great. That is like company speak for that she's out of here, or
yeah.
and he was like, I haven't communicated with her. I don't communicate with her. And that was like, once he said that, I was over him, because I was like, obviously he cares less. I think he
Mm,
cared less about the situation than Garrett did. And it just, yeah, it wasn't good. It worries me.
no. Yeah.
I, yeah. So long story long, I understand about like culture and the locker room being very important.
Yeah, and I do believe that you have to look at that, like you have to take that serious. You have to take that serious, and like let's say that we had gone out and finished second, won FA Cup, Consi Cup, whatever, Subway Cup, all those things like trophies, whatever, and still a majority of players and international players said that this was not a good environment. I would hope, and I would definitely want the club to take action in that, and then get rid of him instead of saying, "Oh, but he's won all of these things. We should keep him." It's like, no, 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 no. It's like there's a human aspect to it, and you have to factor that very highly, in my opinion.
Especially in women's football,
Yeah.
particularly in women's football, because it can there's so many protections that the players don't have. They're not really they're not really they aren't being paid as well. Like they're so like when a player is making 200,000, 250,000 a week, there are parts of it where you're like, bro, deal with it,
Hmm.
figure it out. Is it actually a problem? But when these players are being paid what they're being paid,
Yeah.
and but also it's like Ratcliffe, like he's kind of shown how he feels about the women's side. So that's also where it's like, yeah, I'm sure the vibes aren't great there, but he's
Yeah.
not going to help. And even if it does get so bad, will he even help facilitate
Hmm.
positive change? Like it's yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So all in
Okay.
all, not very happy with my coach. I would love to have like to get a new coach. Um, I think I might have rage texted my friends when he signed the extension, um, and was just maybe completely in denial for the rest of the day. I was just like, all right, I haven't read anything, I haven't seen anything. It's fine. And then you're seeing all of these other managers getting dropped, and you're just like,
They'd be
oh,
better.
so it's like, so it's possible to do this. Like you can get a new manager. Like what? Yeah, no. So I think if you only have one trophy to show for 4 years at a club, and you keep saying, "Oh, we aim to be the best," and we're playing phenomenally, and everything, and you keep saying everything is against us. I think it's time to let him go.
Uh-huh.
Like it just like if you've been there one season, you haven't won anything, but you're still like there's a vision, there's a mindset. You can see that they're going somewhere. Fine, give them a chance. It's 4 seasons, one trophy.
It's time
It's
to
not good.
remember. Yeah.
And I don't see any change from like really from when he started to where we are now. So I don't see how this is going to get better. I don't see how we're going to compete for first place. I don't see how we're going to compete for a trophy in any aspect. I don't even see how we're gonna. I'm a little confused about the Champions League um, uh,
So the way that
stages
it works,
now.
um, because Arsenal won, the WSL does get an extra slot, but that doesn't go in effect until next season, not this season, the season after. And so with the new Europa League, basically the loser of the Champions League play-in game gets Europa.
Gets Europa, yes. So there is something there, and sure, like qualified for playoffs for Champions League,
Mm-hmm.
got bumped up as a ranking because Arsenal won. Like great and everything, but I don't know what to do with it if we're not gonna be able to like stick it out. Like,
That's fair.
you know, it's like it's all great and everything, but like if we can't get to the actual group stages, like what are we doing?
Which is a great point. I mean, that's kind of City's problem. That it's just like every single year we get to that playing game and then we just get smashed, and we beat Paris FC, did our thing, beat Barca, but after that win against Barca, it was just like downhill.
Huh.
It was very unfortunate. And I know injuries also coming into play, but we were losing the games even with a healthy squad at that time. It was just, and that's where like the man management comes in, and managers become very key and important. So I'm with you. I'm with you. I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, next subject is the squad, and I'm very interested in how you thought the squad did this year and what grade you would give them.
So I have to start out because I would love to give this player like an A plus 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 plus. You know, like all
FTJ,
what?
FTJ, or PTJ.
PTJ, PG, Fallon Solskjaer. It's like she. If I could, I would give her all of the pluses. The only reason why I'm not giving her all of the pluses and just like a regular A is because I feel like if she should have gotten an A plus, she should have kept a clean sheet for the whole thing. I think
Tough
like
crowd.
I know, but like A plus and then or like A and then the middle thing right before it gets to a plus. Like
That's fair.
no,
Yeah.
but
But yeah, no, there. I very much. I mean, and obviously she's an American, so
yeah.
I have a. But yeah, just she's a baller. The stops that she made against us, like it frustrates me. Yeah.
The kick save is just like imprinted into my brain. Please, that was amazing. Um, no, and I had like a moment of like pure panic when she played for the U.S.
Hmm.
National team. Cause like, oh my god, now people are gonna like really notice her, and she's playing really well. And now Lyon or something is gonna come and say, "Ooh, we would like this person." Is like, no, no, this this right here is my comfort goalkeeper. You
Yeah.
can't take her away from me. This
Yeah.
is no. So
Yeah.
no,
I heard.
but she's had an amazing season, and I'm so thankful that she signed a new contract. And yeah, uh,
Well, I guess the
good times.
squad overall, though, like,
Yeah.
what are
So
your thoughts on them?
I don't even. I don't feel like we were bad, but like it could have been worse. It could have been way worse,
Yes.
but it could also have been much better. So I don't know. Is there like a middle, like between C and a B, or is like
Yeah, yeah, so that'd be
B
like a C
minus?
plus, C plus, B minus.
Okay, let's go with B minus. It sounds nicer.
It does.
Um, but like B minus because it's like we get a lot of chances in games, or at least in certain games, we don't capitalize on them. Of course, squad rotation is not up to the players, but there is something like when you're putting in a visibly exhausted, burned out Elatoon over somebody else who might come with fresh energy that is not going to gel nicely. Um, and so, like, I don't know. We were also down like at fourth, and I was certain we are going to be fifth again. And there's like a whole thing there. And then managed to get third. But I don't actually know how much of that. Like obviously we won some games, but I don't know how much of that was sort of like we started to play well like in the last stages, and then City started to drop down. So there's like it wasn't like we were dominating. And yeah, so I would go with like a B minus, B minus. I would love to give them like an A plus next season, but it's not going to happen. I think, and not as long as we have Skinner as coach. I am afraid to say that.
I mean, and y'all have a nice young base of players. Like when you look at it, like Turlin's 23, Grace Clinton, who appears to be a baller, she's 21. Like Ballard is the oldest, and she's 24. Like
Yeah,
Elatoon's 24 as well. Letizia is 22. It's kind of frustrating. Like freaking, I'm so upset that Gabby George. I know that she's been a United fan her entire life, so there was nowhere else she was going to go. But that hurt my heart when she went there because I love her so much. And it's like,
Mm.
why do you have to be on that squad?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. No, I understand that feeling completely. I have it with other players, but like, yeah, no, it's yeah.
I like I'm just being total hater, and I just hope that like next season completely bombs for you guys, and she wants to stay in Manchester, so we bring her over because we could totally. I mean, she's right back, so I mean, right, left. Oh,
Hold on.
she might be. She might be. She might be left because I was worried that she we'd have to have her go between her and Kasparai, but I'm pretty sure she might be left. So
Ooh,
then we wouldn't have. But like if her and Kasparai were our fullbacks pairing, like bruh, nobody's scoring on us ever. And so
ever.
I'm just I love holding on and making dreams that will never happen. Like reach for the stars. So if you miss, you land on the moon, right? That's what they always say.
Yes, but also according to I'm trying to read the lineup, and according to this, she's left back.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, wouldn't get in the way at all. She'd be great. Great addition. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the just overall very young squad with some ballers. It could do some things, but obviously you're not hopeful because of
Yeah.
your manager, which is unfortunate. That
Yeah,
is like
very. Yeah.
it's never great.
Yeah, and it's sort of like just to like bring it back is like we have been bailed out a lot of times, not just this season, but last season and the previous ones, where it's like we've been bailed out by like a last minute magic, you know, from one of the players, but never have I seen us turn a game around because, or to my knowledge at least,
Yes.
or the games that I've witnessed, I don't feel like we've turned a game around directly because of changes Mark Skinner has made. Like, there's no sort of like, oh yeah, he put this person on, and then we just instantly turned the game around and we gelled much better, and then we all of a sudden we won and we started scoring all of the goals. To my recollection,
No.
yeah,
Yep.
um, I I haven't seen that. It might have happened. I could have missed that game and everything, but yeah, and I feel like that speaks volumes. There's like it's the players and not the managers who are
Yep.
getting us out of those tough games and tough situations. Um, yeah,
Yeah. And unfortunately, when your team has success, the manager is the one who gets the credit, and um, I feel like they do get the blame when the team does well, but I feel like it gets split equally between like the players and the manager, and yeah, like even Pep with this bad season and
yeah,
finished in third, but he said multiple times, even as recently as like last week when he did an interview, it's like anywhere else, if I played the way that I did, my team played the way that it did, I would have been fired
mm,
anywhere else. And it's just like what you said, one trophy in 4 seasons, like, and yet they are happy with Skinner. They are
yeah,
thrilled that he's there.
yeah. And so it's like you have this, like for Pep, great example actually. You know, won a lot of things. They've played insane soccer for a lot of years. Then they're having sort of like an off season, but they're not going to fire him. Like, I mean, of course they're not going to fire him, you know. And so if this had been our one season where we didn't finish first or we didn't get to like semifinals of Champions League and won some trophies and everything, if this had been a first like off season, then I would say that's fine. Give him a chance to sort of like turn everything around. But this is like we're 4 seasons in now. It's like
Mhm.
I don't see how we're gonna turn this around. And then you're looking at other teams that are saying, all right, we can't deal with this, we can't work with this, and now we have to switch coach just to get some new fresh ideas, and we're not doing it, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, because if you look at the Women's Super League, yeah, Chelsea new manager last season, Arsenal new manager during the season, Manchester City we have a new manager, Brighton got a new manager, uh, Liverpool fired theirs halfway through the season, Tottenham just let go of their manager. Yeah, almost every club in the WSL I feel like got rid of a manager either last
Yeah,
year during the season.
yeah, and it was based of like poor performances,
Mm-hmm.
or like okay, maybe not for Chelsea's case. That's but that's sort of like a league of in their own, right?
Yeah, Emma
But with
promoted
Emma,
to the U.S. women's team. Yes.
yes. So like take Chelsea out of the equation, but
Yeah.
like all the other teams have not performed in the way that they were expected to perform or how they wanted to perform, and then the club decided, all right, now we have to do something. So now we're gonna get rid of the coach, and then we're gonna try something new. And look where that got Arsenal.
Champions of Europe. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that watching that match, I was so upset because it's like I don't want to watch Barca win again, but I don't want to see Arsenal win either.
I
Which
was
is like,
at that game.
oh, were you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And I said the same feeling. It was like I don't really want Barca to win again, just because I do have like a Real Madrid heart underneath all of this. I don't want to see Barca win again, And but then on the flip side, I was like, I don't really want to see Arsenal win it because then they're gonna have this whole Champions of Europe thing, and I would have to listen to that for a whole season. And it's just like, ugh, I don't want it. But I do have, and I will say this: I did root a little bit more for Arsenal because nothing in me could ever root for Barcelona.
Yep.
And I do have some very, very close friends who are Arsenal fans. And so it's like, all right, like for your sake, I really hope that you win. But like for my personal sanity and everything, I hope both team loses. I don't know how, but I hope they both lose.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, the trophy just disappears for a season.
Right.
I don't know.
Goes away. Who cares? There's always a first for everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so next category is supporters. How was the fan base this season, and what grade would you give them?
So I don't actually know what to give the fan base. So simply just because I feel like what I've seen the most is that people online, or at least the people that I follow, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've uh, always had this sense of like they will support the players and they're there for the players, and they're not afraid to call them out if they feel like they're not performing at a level. And I do like that part of it, but there's also just been like a general sort of like people being exhausted with having a coach that they
Mm-hmm.
don't care about, or they don't feel like living up to the standards of the club. So it's so in aspects of like supporting players, I feel like they've been very good,
Mm-hmm.
and I would definitely give them an A because sticking by them, hyping them up, calling out the different situations and instances we've had, and keep pressing that things are not good enough and they should do something, and that they should do something within the club, and at a higher level than just the manager and everything. So in that aspect, I think they've been very good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then the in the same way, I've only seen what's being written online. I haven't. I don't have the chance to go to regular games in the UK. So, but I would assume that it's sort of the same. Like they show up, they support their players, they're there for the players. and they're still deeply unhappy with the manager. And in my book, that's an A.
Okay, that's all I'm asking is what is
Yeah,
it from your book? So we're good.
yeah.
Uh, okay. Finally, last category, front office. How do you think they've done, and what grade would you give them?
I just need to get something clarified. When you say front office, is that like Radcliffe and like those people, or
Yeah,
is
the
like
people who do the hiring, like the director of football and things like that. Yes.
okay, okay. So if we're going like from the top, like from Radcliffe and I don't know whoever's having shares in United. I don't know anymore.
Yeah,
But like
whoever's making the personnel decisions, basically.
the guy who's cutting all of the personnel, maybe. You know, that's a big F. You know, that's I had high hopes. I had high hopes when he came to visit the women's team and everything. I was like, all right, this is the guy who gets it. Like this is the guy who is willing to put money into this and wants to see them grow and everything. And then they start cutting out, the just because the men didn't win anything, then the women didn't get like a what an end of the season dinner celebration,
Mhm.
and they also cut it out this year. Then you know they didn't allow staff to travel to Bilbao for the Europa League final.
Oh,
And
yeah,
like there was like
well, he didn't pay for it for them to do it. If they wanted to go, they would have to spend their own money.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but like all of these things where I'm just like I don't see how if you're doing this for the men's team, and I fully understand the men's team have not been great, have not been great, but like if you're doing this for the men's team, then I don't want to really think about what you could do for the women's team, like what kind of things you would want to cut out for the women's team. And I still remember when they had to use I don't know like porta potties to like to get changed in and like the first proper season and everything. That was terrible, you know. And what was it? The renovation of or like maintenance of Old Trafford, and they had to come and take over the women's training facilities and just like yeah. So I'm not big on that part. I will say on the like recruitment part, I'm fairly happy with it. I love Terraland. That is, you
Hmm.
know, uh, Scandinavia. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, but I do hope that we get somebody in who could maybe like help her a little more and sort of like I don't like okay, so I don't want to say I want like a carbon copy of like Bunny and Hemp, but
Hmm.
I see that we need somebody who could like feed the ball consistently to Turland so she can just like move freely in the box. And I feel like I've seen this with like Bunny and Hemp, where like Bunny just gets to like run and create the space, and Hemp will just launch the ball in there, and then you have a connection. And I think we need somebody like that. And right now I don't really know where we're gonna get that. So like I don't know, like a C average is that
Yeah,
what was that that was
yeah.
the
C is
C.
yep, bang average. Yep,
Yeah,
middle of the road.
yeah. I want to say average. It's like I do like some of the signings we've made. I don't really like the top people within the organization,
Hmm.
but I'm also very happy that we managed to get Sterling. It's yeah, yeah.
Okay. Wow, this was great. This was fun. Always good to connect with you, Holloway. Please let people know where they can find you and the things that you do.
Mostly just on Twitter, just Twitter Holloway, and yeah, just rambling on. Maybe a little bit of a downtime here, but might just be rambling on the women's Euros. So might want to follow that.
Yeah. Hey, and we'll be doing watch alongs for the Women's Euros. So if you ever are free and you want to join us for a match, let us know.
We'll do. We'll do. I might have to work a little bit during that time, but
That is
Yeah,
understandable. Yep, yep,
yeah.
yep.
And then I'm going to Switzerland. So yeah.
Hey, let's go. Oh, well, Shady Gang, we've made it a wonderful week talking about football with so many of our friends. We still have plenty of clubs to go, weeks to go. It really, contest season has just begun. So rest up this weekend, have some fun, be safe out there. And until next time, you know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.